Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, Dr. Asar Hapi. How are you?
Excellent in yourself.
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm gonna turn my volume up here. Um, so our room is filling up. I want to get you in and get you started because I know we always have lots and lots and lots and lots of questions. But before
Oh,
we get started, I do want to apologize because the last time that you were with us, I was in the middle of a very intense personal situation and starting our meeting just it was not on my plate that
it was it,
last Tuesday.
it was okay. It was a meeting that it was only about sharing the knowledge, and you heard a little of it. You were hearing some of it. Were you able to get the notes from Dr. Blessman?
No, I did not, and I understand you recorded the session.
Yes, I'll have to find that
Okay.
recording that was made.
I, I want to work with
Send
you
that
with
to her.
that. Yes,
Oh,
I want to
good.
because I need to upload it to YouTube.
Okay.
Our channel was up and running, and I need to work with Mrs. McNair too. Hopefully, we can get together this week and try to find that recording so
Right.
we can get that uploaded. So I don't want to belabor us, Dr. Blessing, and I don't see her in the room, but I do want to greet everyone, the community together. I see you all coming in, Dr. Cato, Mrs. McNair, Mrs. Brock, Mrs.
Hello.
Birch. Hey, good evening.
Hi.
Hello. Hello. I love y'all. Miss Carol Wright. I see you. Miss Diana Sims. Hey, hello. Hi, Miss Johnson, Miss June Johnson, Rashida, Renee, and Miss Sharon. Good evening.
Good
Welcome.
evening.
Dr. Hassar Hapid is here, and I don't want to just you know, take too much time trying to figure out how everybody is doing. I know you all are doing well. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here tonight. But if you got something going on, please share it. Um, because if we need to pray for a particular thing and situation, we definitely want to do that for you. So I'm not taking that away, but I do want to get us started so that you can hear what Dr. Asar Hapi has to say and be able to ask questions. Mrs. Patricia from London, I have not forgotten about you. I apologize.
Hi.
Say,
Yeah.
I know you asked
You
me.
never do. You
Yeah,
never do forget me. I know
yeah.
that.
The
Yeah.
it's really not ready to go, and I need to get with Dr. Cato because we have a password on what she sent me, and I don't think I downloaded it right to get it out, and I don't know if um I should send it out like that because it's still really in a draft form. So let me get with Dr. Cato and I can get another a release so that I can send it to you, and you should get it this week. Okay. So there's a new variant, family. It's the EG.5. Mrs. McNair sent some information to me. I don't know if you have it, Mrs. McNair. You can put it in the chat. I think that's something that we'll go ahead and talk about next week because the symptoms around it, they look horrible. I don't want to take Dr. Happy's time. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go on mute. And I'm going to start our Facebook Live. So Dr. Happy, if you can just give me about a minute to get that started, and I'll go ahead and bring you in.
And I'll try and put it in the chat, Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Dr. IP, it's good to see you this evening. I'm glad that you're here. I know this is like part 5 of your seminar with us. And the topic tonight, I don't necessarily have it, but I know you do. I have been working with Living to Breathe, and your breath is your life. So I'm gonna go ahead and allow Dr. Asar Hapi to come on in and share his lecture with us this evening. Good evening, Doctor. Go right ahead.
Good evening. Good evening. How was everyone? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Hapid, I can hear you. Loud
Can
and
everyone see me?
yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
In our last sessions, our focus was on helping to educate and explain to everyone how we stay healthy. And our focus was talking about the breath as it related to the COVID. And we've been through a few sessions talking about that, but now we need to kind of get deeper. When we look at the breath, we really have to look at not just the breath as it relates to the lungs. We have to look at the breath as it relates to the vitality of the entire body, all the systems, and how to make them stronger. So this lecture today, we're talking about the power within to restore. What we're looking at each time we get together, we're hearing about a different variant. Is that correct? Are we at now a new variant of the COVID?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
if I was to ask all of you all who's been wearing their mask, who would say they have?
I will.
I have.
I wear it all the time.
Okay,
will.
all right, wise people. All right. And so in wearing the mask, we wear the mask to protect us against those who will be coughing, because we don't know who have the latest virus, and it will be coughed up on us. It will be out there somewhere. And it was already stated on this Zoom call that some of the symptoms are not nice, correct?
Correct.
Right. So we come back to the breath. The breath is the only thing that can help us at the maximum level, because whatever the variant is, whatever we get, it might not be COVID, it might be pneumonia, it might be the flu, it might be any other type of respiratory microbes. The goal here is to help make the lungs stronger so that we have the greatest chance to prevent whatever it is from creating all of those symptoms that we will get if our systems are weak. So whoever have the weakest breaths, whatever it is coming at us, there's a great chance we're going to get it. And there's a great chance that is going to do us great harm and may take our life. Now, today we're going to go a little deeper, because I want to correlate. I want to correlate the relationship between the breath and the internal organs more, not just the lungs themselves, but the breath and the internal organs. So, how many of you all know someone who've had a stroke?
Yes.
And when they have a stroke, do they become weaker? Is
Yes.
there a chance they might have some paralysis in their limbs, in their arms, in their legs? There might be a weakness. There might be spastic paralysis where their limbs have constricted and they can't release them,
Mm-hmm.
right? We know of this, right? So in the work that I do with this breath, we're speaking of building this breath up so that this breath can even have the power to restore one who has been paralyzed. months. Would that be pretty exciting? You all knowing somebody, they've been paralyzed for say 2 years. And the medical doctors have given up on him, saying they'll never walk again. And the medical doctors have said they won't need any more physical therapy because it's not helping, because we've done it for 2 years and it didn't work. So we're going to put that person in the nursing home. Now, how would you all like to know that one of the breath techniques that we deal with can help to bring that person back to walking again? Would that be exciting?
Yes.
So we've done that. In the last 3 months, we had a patient who had been paralyzed for 2 years from a stroke, and he is now walking. This is after the medical doctors had given up on him and told his wife to put him in a nursing home. Now, I did have the footage. I was going to show you all the footage this evening of him walking, but even more than that, of him walking and lifting up his walker and walking while carrying his walker.
Mm.
Is that pretty strong? What you all think? You think that's kind of strong, a little strong, or real strong?
That's
Yeah.
very good.
Real strong.
Now, what we did is that we worked with his breathing. Now, this particular work is specialized work. And the breathing that I'm showing you all on this Zoom call is not that breathing, because that breathing has to be supervised. And that particular breathing is very, very powerful. And so I have to have you on my table to show it to you, because you would not be able to do this regular breathing just us being on this call. Now, the last time we was on this call, we started working on the breathing technique. Is that correct? Did you all have any of you all practice the technique that we talked about and said everyone should be doing, because it was a basic breathing technique? Have any of you all been practicing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I
all
did,
right.
but I don't think I'm doing it right. Mhm.
Okay. Well, I believe you. I believe you. Since I can't see you, I have to believe you. But we said that in that breathing, the first thing we were supposed to do was what? Who remembers the steps? What was the first thing we were supposed to do? Anybody remember the steps?
I was supposed to do it on an empty stomach. Lie down.
Lie down.
We was supposed to lie down. What's the second thing we were supposed to do?
Breathe in and out.
Put our hands on our abdomen.
Put the hand on the diaphragm. And what was the third thing we were supposed to do?
I used the book.
Did the book help? Sister Renee, did the book help?
Yes,
Okay. All right. And what did you do with the book? What did you do with the book?
I tried to push it out, but I wasn't sure if I was doing it. I tried to make that book rise.
But you did make it rise a little bit, the book?
It did, but with that breathing, I didn't know. I tried to keep my mouth open, so I wasn't sure if I did it right.
Okay, so here's how we were supposed to do it right. The first thing we were supposed to do is we're supposed to put the hand on the diaphragm or the book on the diaphragm, and we were supposed to push our diaphragm up, which means we're supposed to push the book up and our mouth was supposed to be closed. Then we were supposed to open our mouth wide. We were supposed to make a sound that sound like this. The sound was, I'm gonna make that sound again. It was like releasing air out of a balloon, called. It's supposed to be an easy sound, not like you're choking, not like you're having a respiratory arrest, just an easy sound of a. No, it's a long sound. This is a long sound. It's a sound of a, like an A with 5 H's. Got to be a long sound. Now, in that sound, your diaphragm was supposed to squeeze. It was supposed to squeeze flat. It was supposed to squeeze flat. And we were supposed to do that practice over and over until we got on this call today. Now, today, we're supposed to now take that further. And in taking that further, when we exhale and the diaphragm squeeze, when we inhale, the diaphragm is now supposed to expand like you filling air up in a balloon. So let's try that today. Let's try that. Can everybody got a place they can lay down? Everybody's laying down?
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to the first part where we say put the hand on the diaphragm or put the book on the diaphragm, close your mouth and push your stomach out. The book should rise or your hand should rise because you're creating a certain strength in your diaphragm. By pushing the diaphragm out, that's a mechanical effort. You're doing a mechanical effort. Open the mouth wide. Once your stomach, we say it's supposed to be big like a 4-month pregnant woman. And when you open your mouth, when you exhale, your diaphragm is supposed to squeeze out. Now let's try that. Let me hear the sound of everybody doing it at the same time. What is the sound supposed to sound like? One long sound. Okay, are we ready? Push your diaphragm out. The mouth is closed. Feel the book rising. Open your mouth. Get ready to let the air out very slow and very easy, and the diaphragm should squeeze. Here we go. Here, one big ah. Let's try it again. Push your stomach out. Open your mouth wide. Everybody ready? Exhale. Squeeze the stomach in. Is everybody's stomach squeezing in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whose stomach's not squeezing in? Whose stomach's not squeezing in?
It's almost
Now,
like you're holding your breath before you blow it out.
no, you're not holding the breath. What you
But when I
do
open my mouth,
is you took a breath in. Okay, so it's like as you're pushing your stomach out, the breath is actually you've brought it in, and now you're gonna squeeze it out, right? So you breathe. It's like this is what we're getting ready to do now. We're getting ready to breathe in, pull the air in, and make the stomach fill up with air. Which means if we pull this air in, our hand should rise. The diaphragm should push our hand up, or the diaphragm should push the book up. So now we're going to breathe in, and we should feel the air filling up the diaphragm. It should push the book up or push our hand up. Let's try that. Are we ready? Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to push. We're going to inhale. Let me hear your breath. Now, when we inhale, the sound should be like this. Let me hear your sound. Let me hear everybody's sound. Which means your nostrils have to be clear. Let me hear everybody inhale. Let me hear your inhale now. Where's your inhale? Let me hear the inhale. Can I hear a group inhale? Can I hear a group inhale? Let me hear your inhale. Can everybody inhale? Everybody trying to inhale?
Yes,
Can you hear yourself inhale?
yes,
Let me hear you inhale. Can you hear me inhale when I inhale?
yes.
So if you cannot hear your inhale, it means that your lungs are getting weaker. And if your lungs are getting weaker, it means your heart is getting weaker. And if your lungs are getting weaker, it means these variants can get you. You see, when we look at the athletes are breathing very strong. So when the first COVID came, there were certain athletes who were professional who were tested positive, but they had no symptoms. They had no symptoms because their lungs were so strong. But as we get older, our lungs are getting weaker. And as our lungs get weaker, we're prone to any of these microbes because they will come and get us if we have weak lungs. So this technique that I'm trying to share with you all will make your lungs stronger so there's less of a chance of the symptoms that we're looking to prevent. So this is the technique that I'm sharing with you to make the lungs stronger so that you don't get the what? The symptoms. The symptoms. So let's try it again. I want everyone to inhale. Now, this is the next step. I want you to inhale and I want your stomach to rise, which means at first you might still have to push it out some because those muscles in your diaphragm, they've become very weak. And they became very weak from when we're eating. When we are eating and we eat full stomachs. When our stomach is full, that weakens the lungs. When we eat and we fill our stomachs up all the time, that weakens the lungs. So let's try it again. We're going to inhale, pull the breath, and fill up the stomach. You should feel your stomach. Your stomach should be rising. And then you open your mouth and you exhale, making the sound. Squeezing the stomach. All right. All right. Now let's try that for a few minutes. And I want everybody to tell me, did their diaphragm rise when they inhale? I want everybody to tell me that. And then I want everybody to tell me, could you feel your diaphragm squeezing when you exhale? Because you should be able to squeeze your diaphragm flat. This is how you start making your diaphragm get stronger and flatter. So I want everybody to practice for a few minutes and then tell me if you were able to squeeze your diaphragm. First, I want you to tell me, did you hear yourself inhaling? Could you hear yourself inhaling? Because if you can't, your lungs are way too weak. And if the lungs are weak, that's a person that's easier to have a heart attack too, when weak lungs. Weak lungs bring all kind of problems to the systems of the body. How do I know? How do I know? Because I had what kind of condition? What kind of condition did I have? I had sarcoidosis. And that is a condition that is incurable, and your lungs are so weak that you're supposed to die by 50 years old. And that's the condition I had that started me on this journey of learning how to get the lungs strong and learning how to prevent myself from dying by 50 years old and learning how to get healthier and then learning how to help other people. All right, now keep breathing because this is something you now should be doing every day for the rest of your life. Because if your diaphragm is not flat, that's the first thing. If you have extra weight on your diaphragm, that's already a weak lungs, unless you have Buddha's breath. Buddha was one who had big breath. So his stomach was big from breath, not from the organs and the diaphragm becoming weak, but from the breath. All right, now did everybody, I want everybody to do it at least 10 times. At least 10 times. At least 10 times. You should be filling your diaphragm. Your diaphragm should be expanding. If your diaphragm is not expanding, you have to practice pushing your stomach out more because your diaphragm muscles have become too weak. And if your diaphragm muscles are too weak, then your lungs are going to be weak. And then if your lungs are weak, the microbes can come and multiply and bring you health challenges. Okay, now, how are we doing? Did everybody do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now let's ask the question. Who had a problem? Did anybody have a problem? Who couldn't hear their breathing? Who could not hear their breathing? Could everybody hear their breathing?
Yes.
When you
Yes. Yes.
inhale,
Yes.
everybody heard their breathing when they inhale. Could everybody feel their diaphragm expanding when they
Yeah.
inhale?
Yes. Yes.
Was it strong or was it weak?
Strong.
Strong.
How big did your stomach? Did your stomach get big as a 4-month pregnant woman? That's what it's supposed to do. If the lungs are strong, it's supposed to fill up like a 4-month pregnant woman.
Yeah.
All right. So now that tells us that as we're doing this, this is what's making the lungs stronger. Now, do you all remember seeing the demonstration that we showed earlier on in the first Zoom conference calls that we made where you saw me control my internal diaphragm with the breath? Do you all remember that?
Yes.
I don't.
Someone said they didn't. Who said they didn't remember that?
Brenda.
Brenda. Were you on the earlier calls, Brenda?
I think it was on the first call. I think you did it on the first one.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show this. I'm going to show it again so you'll see how deep our breath is supposed to get. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
If I can show that?
For some
Yeah.
reason, I don't see you. This is Barb.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do you see me now?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Now, what I have to do is I have to, let's see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I could pull this. Let's see what I could do here. Pull this up. Okay, let's see. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna show you this technique. This technique lets you see how advanced your breath, is supposed to be able to get. And this was the technique, and this was the knowledge that our ancestors walked with. 5,000 years ago, they all were breath masters. They all were very heavy in the breath, so their bodies were very light. Their bodies were very slim because they were all into the secrets of regeneration. So I'm gonna let you all see this. Here we go. Let me go back. Okay, can everybody see my diaphragm?
Yes.
Sister
Yeah.
Barbara, can you see my diaphragm?
Yes.
Now I'm doing that breathing that I was asking you all to do. When I inhale, you saw my stomach fill up with the air. Now I have let all the air out of my diaphragm completely. When all the air is let out, you have a complete control of your diaphragm where you can help to massage your internal organs. You can help your digestive system, your elimination, your assimilation. This technique is very, very advanced with your lungs. Now you see me breathing, right? You see my diaphragm coming out when I inhale. And now I've taken my diaphragm all the way in and I'm helping my organs. I'm stimulating all my organs so that they can work at 100% of their function like a 25-year-old.
Well, my diaphragm didn't go in that deep.
Only because you have not learned the secrets. Now watch me now. Watch me, because after I do the breathing, now I come back into a 6-pack. Watch this. Now, this is the breath that I was telling you all that you all should be doing right here. Okay. All right. So did everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what we're showing there is advanced breathing. Now, what we're trying to do with you all is teach you all basic breathing that could help you to become healthier, because in our society, we are not taught about how to really, really breathe where we can regain the power of our health to a greater level than where we're at. And what I'm sharing with you all is the basics of that. Now, in my office, I have more of an advanced system. And Dr. Blessman have been coming to my office, and she's been being exposed to the more advanced system. Now, we have someone on the call here today who have started in my office, Sister Shirley Walker. She's had just a couple of sessions, and I want her to just share with you in her own words how more of the breathing that I have you do, how much more do you do compared to what we just did? Sister Shirley, you want to come on the on your video so everyone can see you?
Oh, okay.
Compared to what we just did, how much more do you do in my office when we're doing this breathing? We can't hear you. You have to unmute your mic.
Okay.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
I'm in a session with you for at least an hour to hour and a half. So, you know, when I walk in the door, you were very serious. So we get right into the technique. So I've noticed a lot of changes in my life. Like I'm not as fatigued. I have more energy. I'm not in excruciating pain like I was.
Right.
I know I still got a lot to learn. I can feel my lungs getting a lot more stronger. And I say that because now, even when I do physical therapy for some of the exercises, I will practice the breathing while I'm doing the exercise.
Right.
And I'm finding that I don't get as fatigued like I was.
Right. Okay.
So I think I've been in 3 or 4 sessions with
3
you.
sessions. You've been in 3 sessions.
Right. So the other thing is, I can feel that I was having a circulation problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I can feel, and the doctors are noticing that I don't have as much information and toxins.
Mm-hmm.
So my numbers are a little bit different when they do my segmentation rates and my C-reactive protein. I don't have, at least the last test I had last week, I had barely any information.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent.
So
So,
I enjoy the sessions because you know, I had long haul COVID, and the two departments that I had to spend a lot of time with was pulmonology for my chest and lungs, and
uh-huh,
neurology.
right,
So I can definitely see that my lungs are getting stronger,
uh-huh,
and I'm not coughing a lot at night.
right.
So that means the oxygen is really flowing like it should.
Yes, yes. And your whole body is getting strong, right? The whole body is getting stronger as we work with each time you come. We take you to a certain point and we look for your power to be affected. And then we look to restore and increase your power so that the power of the lungs and the power of all your other systems can keep getting stronger and stronger.
Right.
Right.
And I'll admit to my peers, because they all know me. This was extremely intimidating at first, because it's
the
like,
first session.
oh my God, yes. It's like, how am I gonna ever learn how to do all this stuff?
Right. All this
But
breathing, right.
yeah, but you're a good instructor, and now I'm beginning to enjoy my sessions. Really
Oh,
enjoy.
good. Good. Well, you just got started. I want to commend you on your effort because you give it 150%. You just got started. And we heard 2 weeks ago, we heard from, or over a month ago in our last session, we heard how well Dr. Blessman was doing and how she was now starting to eat more healthier food that we call higher energy food. She's starting to eat that, and she's talking about how super well she's feeling. Well,
Yeah.
our program is called the Super Wellness Program. And what you all are being introduced to is a glimpse, just a glimpse of that program. And when you step into this program, like one of my neighbors, when we were little, she was always extra weighted. She was always overweight. And even when she reached out to me over a year ago, she was overweight, about 80 pounds, and she was on a cane because she had become that weak, and her lungs and her body had become that weak. Her back was full of a lot of pain, and she was concerned about she was going to have to be put in a wheelchair because she couldn't hardly walk, and it was so much pain in her back. And we put her in this program. And I want to say, Sister Shirley, she's now in the 2000 breath program. You're in the 90 breath. You just finished 90 breaths in your third session. She's in the 2000 breath program. She's lost 80 pounds. She breathes better than LeBron James. And she's 70. Well, I'm not supposed to say who's, I'm not supposed to name some athletes who she might be better than. But you all heard of LeBron James? I hope all of y'all heard of LeBron James.
Mhm.
And you know how healthy he is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But what do we hear the other day? His son, what happened to his son?
His son had a cardiac arrest.
Exactly. And what do that tell us? That his heart might have been strong, but his heart is not strong enough for the lungs to keep oxygen coming through the heart, and he had a cardiac arrest. Now, what's the difference between that and someone older having a stroke? Do both of them is an arrest?
Yeah.
Right. And so with this work that we do, We make the lungs stronger. We make the heart stronger. We have a patient who has a they have a pump. They have a
Defibrillator.
defibrillator. They have a defibrillator. They have a defibrillator. And when you have a defibrillator, how are you supposed to be moving when you have a defibrillator? Are you supposed to be sitting around somewhere and not exerting yourself? Or are you supposed to be running around like Michael Jordan? How are you supposed to be moving when you got a defibrillator in your heart?
Like Michael
Are
Jordan.
you supposed to take it easy?
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to take it easy because the heart is weaker, right?
Uh-huh.
So you're supposed to be sitting around in a lounge chair and just letting your life go by. So one of our clients, they put a defibrillator in his heart. He was at Mayo Clinic because he was 150 pounds. He was 350 pounds. So all that extra weight went on his heart. He was about to have a stroke, and I sent him to Mayo to get checked out, and they put a defibrillator in his heart. He could not walk 8 steps. When he came back with the defibrillator, he could not walk 8 steps without being out of breath. You know how many steps he walks now? He walks miles. He walks miles very fast. He flies all over the world, and he can do 4,000 breaths in 20 minutes. 4,000 breaths in 20 minutes is rapid breathing. So in our
Dr. Harvey?
technology, yes, Sister Renee.
I'm sorry. Can you talk a little louder? Because I have my aunt on the phone. I had a call on my phone so she can hear. It's kind of hard to hear.
Can
So
you
I'm
hear
on
me
my computer,
now?
but she's on my phone.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
better?
probably a little better. Yeah.
And
You
can,
can hear
Okay,
me. I know you can. Okay. Thank you.
Can everyone else hear me better?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I was speaking of the one of my clients who had to have a defibrillator put in his heart, and afterward he could not walk 8 steps without being out of breath. And we put him into this program, and now he can walk miles and miles, and he can do 4,000 breaths very quickly, and he breathes better than the doctors at Mayo Clinic. He can breathe longer than and faster than them going through our program. So this
So that's
particular program has the ability to bring your body back to a level that your body has not been in years. And if we're talking about the COVID, and we saw what happened to the seniors when the COVID first came, all of our lungs are still weak. Even if you have the device on your chest, it's still not making your lungs itself stronger. So we have to make the lungs stronger. So that's what this work is that I do that saved my life while I can breathe. You all heard me breathe a couple of sessions ago. You heard me taking a long breath. Did you all remember that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Was it long, kind of long, or sort of long?
Very long. I thought it was very long.
Yeah.
Well, it was before then, it was very, very short. I could not breathe at all. And through this work that I now help other people, but had to go through myself, it restored my lungs back to that of a 20-year-old. Now, how many of you all think your lungs should be back to a 20-year-old? What you think?
I think
I would like it.
How about 30 years old? If we don't want 20, who want 30? Some people say 20 is too young for them. Who want 30?
You
Now,
know,
I'll
you know,
take 30.
Dr. Happy,
yes,
it's
Sister Bernard.
hard to imagine yourself, myself, being in that place when I know I have all of the stuff that I have going on. But I share with my team, after you meet some of these people that are 70 and 80 years old, and they are walking with pep in their step, and men got ripples in their chests. You're like, wow.
Because Sister Shirley, you met Brother Bilal. He's 76. You met him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you felt his diaphragm. Did he have? Was he
did.
ripped? Was his
Yep,
diaphragm ripped with the 6-pack? And he's 76. He's 76
Yeah.
years old.
It looks like he's in his 50s.
Right. And you saw You saw Brother Bernie at the demonstration, Sister Shirley. You saw him jump on the table. You
Yeah,
saw him jump up on the stage, and he's in his 70s, right?
right. So,
So what it tells us is we have a great potential with this technology that I have. We have a great potential for you all to get a healthy body, like to feel like a 30-year-old again, to feel like a 25-year-old again. We don't just want Dr. Blessman to feel like that. We don't just want Sister Shirley to feel like that, because I can tell you, Sister Shirley is going to be feeling like that in no time. Based on how she's showing up in our center, she's going to be giving rave reports, and you will be hearing how powerful she is. Now, do the rest of you all deserve that?
Dr. Happy, do I have to move to Chicago?
Well, Miss Sister Belvedere, you don't have to
Yes.
move here, but you definitely need to come here,
Uh,
because this is where I'm at.
I know.
And Sister Shirley, she's here. Dr. Blessman, wherever she's going all around the world, she comes right back here, comes to the office, and gets better and better. So until we develop some students that can be where you're at, there's no one else to do this but me to help you. I'm the only one in the world that can help you.
Well, I guess I'll be going to Chicago soon.
This is where it's at. You gotta set up your schedule where you set up your time. You're gonna be staying at the hotel. We're gonna have the Obama Center here soon. You'll be able to, come here and have a good time. Don't just come here and see me. Now I can tell you, Sister Shirley, she's a moving shaker. She'll have you all, you hang with her, she'll have you to all the highlights around Chicago, because she's a moving, she'll give you a good time. But getting back to the seriousness of this, my intent here is to introduce you all. My concern here is to let you all know that you all could be 30 years younger. Your bodies could feel 30 and 40 years better. That if you're on a bunch of medications, you could be coming off those medications and your body could be doing so much better. But it all relates back to this breath. Now, I wanted to touch on a couple of features here. There are some instruments that could help the lungs get stronger. And if you're doing the technique that I'm taking you through today, and you utilize these instruments, they could help some strengthen the lungs. Last time we were on here, I spoke about this the spiralator. Did anybody check on that the spinometer? It's called a spinometer. Did anybody check on that from the
No,
last time?
I don't recall that.
The spirometer?
No, it's not a yes, the spirometer, right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did everybody get one? Did you buy one?
yeah.
I
Are you-
already had one, and
Do you use it? Do you use it?
yeah, I got up to 3,000.
Oh, that's great. You're heading in the right direction. Did anybody else check on that device?
Are you talking about the device when you're in the hospital? They make you blow
When
into
you have a
that?
heart attack. When you have a heart attack.
Or you have
Yes.
some respiratory issues. When they,
Yes,
they want
or
you to-
some respiratory issues, they use it. But what I'm saying is that we should be using it anyway, because what I have found is that most people over 50 have lost 50% of their lung capacity.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost over 50. Some have lost over 60 and 70. And when they show you this device to use, they're only bringing you back to a 50% capacity, which is 2,500, and 3,000 is a little better than that, but that's like your that's like your lungs only working at 50%. A good spirometer, you should be able to pull it up to 4,000 to 5,000 when it goes all the way up to the top. But what they did, they got rid of those units and they started bringing in these units that only show half of that. So if a person push it up to 2,500, the person thinks that they're breathing really great, but they're really breathing still very poorly. And so that's one of the devices that we should be using, as well as using other devices to help us. Now, Sister Shirley, she had went to Shirley Ryan. Sister Shirley, you want to tell them about that device Shirley Ryan showed you to use to help your lungs get stronger?
Yeah, it's called Breathe Fit.
Do you have it there where you can show it to the people?
I do. Let me get it.
Is this the device that measures your inhalation and exhaling?
No. This device just make your lungs work. It doesn't measure. The other device measures your inhalation. It measures how much you can pull air in, the other device.
Yes, I saw that and I was
So
reading
this,
for
this is
Parkinson's.
it. It's a little black, looks like a little pipe. And it has
Yes,
some numbers on it. And on
Yes.
one side, it's the inhale and numbers. And on the other side is the exhale numbers. Then you download the app on your phone. And then it walks you through 2 or 3 training exercises that you're required to do every day. So it's like you're recording exactly what you're doing. So like right now I have the power on 2. So as you move the numbers all the way up to 5, then that makes it more challenging. So you can continue to advance yourself to another level, because I started out at 1, now I'm at 2.
right.
I
Where do
see
you
on
get-
Amazon. There's one
Yes,
on
I got it off
Wow.
Amazon.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
at Amazon, and this is another one right here. They have it
Right.
on Amazon. This is how it looks.
Is that called the
Wow.
breather?
It's called the
The one-
breather. This is the one called the breather.
Breather. I'm looking at
So the one that
yeah.
you have, Dr. Hapi, is for milder. This one is for athletes.
Right. The one you have is better, Sister
runners,
Shirley.
track,
Yes, the one you have is a better one. It's a
Right.
better one. Right.
So it's more challenging.
Right. More challenging. But we got to start the people with the basic one, because their lungs, the older people lungs are so weak. They're so weak.
Right.
Or they can start with that, particularly if they're in my program. You being in my program, you're gonna be a better athlete than LeBron James in no time. So if they're in my program, they're gonna
This really showed me how poor my breathing was. Because
right.
I could not
right.
even hold, I couldn't not even blow out, exhale, the length of the circle that I was supposed to be doing. I was out of breath.
Right.
And
Since
so
you've been-
Can y'all put that in the chat?
where my weakness was.
Right. And
Thank
since you've been doing the breathing with me now, that's helping you to be better with this and get stronger quicker, so that your lungs can get stronger quicker.
Yeah,
Can y'all put that in the chat, please? The name of that?
sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So that was one of the devices, and this device, everybody should be getting one if you all are trying to help your lungs, because what we're saying is that because of where your lungs are. So let's say the average one of you might be between 50 and 70 years old. Where your lungs are, particularly if there is 10 pounds of weight on your diaphragm, 10 to 15 pounds of extra weight on your diaphragm already mean your lungs have weakened and they are overworking. And if they are overworking, it's easier for the microbes to come and get you. So these are devices that I'm speaking about that could help your lungs get stronger, so that you can minimize symptoms if these microbes try to come and get you. Now, one of the things that we talked about when we were on the call last time was we asked everybody to get balloons. Did anybody get any balloons?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes,
Dr. Bless
So,
sent us
so-
balloons.
so have anybody been practicing the balloons?
yes, sir. I blow balloons every day. All
So
the
how
time.
good are you now?
I'm
Can
pretty
you blow a balloon up in 4 blows?
I guess so. Haven't tried.
The big balloon I'm talking about, not the little balloon. I'm not talking about the little wee balloon. I'm talking about the big balloon, like for the birthday party. I'm talking about the ones that look like that is big as a about maybe 5, maybe big as somebody 4 or 5 pounds 4 or 5 pounds pregnant, 4 or
Yeah.
5 months pregnant. You can blow it up that good?
Well, Dr. Happy, I didn't get the great big ones. I got with the ones from the dollar store. They're not quite that large, but they're
Uh-huh.
the size of, I would say a soccer ball, maybe, or
Soccer
small.
ball, that's not bad. That's not bad.
And I
That's
blow
not too
them.
bad. So how many of the rest of y'all been blowing up the balloons the size of a soccer ball?
I've been the bigger ones.
Okay, how is that going? Is that a little better, Sister
Much
Paula? Is
better.
that a little better?
Yes, much better.
Okay, and someone said something.
Oh, and yeah, I have a question. I got the balloons immediately and started blowing them up. And then I do my blood pressure is elevated, and I read that blowing a balloon makes your blood pressure go up. So then I stopped. I was doing it every day.
So let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about that. The blood pressure goes up when the lungs are weak. So what did that tell us? Weak lungs gonna make the blood pressure go up. So why are we doing the balloons?
To strengthen
To
the
make
lung.
the lungs stronger.
Right.
And when the lungs is stronger, the heart will get stronger. Let's go back to my patient who was paralyzed. He was paralyzed because his heart had had a stroke. So the heart was very weak. So when the heart is weak, your blood pressure is all up, it's all down, it's all over the place. And we started working with him with the lungs. And as we started working with him with the lungs, we saw the phenomena. The phenomena is it didn't just help the heart, it helped the power in his limbs, just like it helps the baby. What does the baby do? The baby does 2 things. The
Right.
baby does 3 things. The baby eats, sleeps, and cries, and clean his colon, clean his system. Now, in that breathing, the crying is a breathing. That's a breathing the baby is doing. And that breathing is making the baby stronger every day. So how do we know that? Do we see the baby walk one day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes,
Do we see the baby become a terrible 2 and 3?
Yeah.
yes.
Now, you never saw the baby show up in the gym. You never saw the baby lifting weights before the baby got strong enough to even lift itself up. And so what we're saying, this breathing is something one must do. I have had patients whose blood pressure was 230 over 130. Now, how high do you all think that is?
That's high.
Right.
I have a sister that runs her pressure.
230 over 130. They have a term for it. It's called malignant hypertension.
Malignant hypertension.
Malignant means you're not getting rid of this problem. Just like malignant cancer, you're not getting rid of this problem. Just like with my sarcoidosis, they told me I was not getting rid of the problem. I was going to die by 50 and I could not breathe. And so this particular breathing, it makes the heart stronger, it makes the other organs stronger, and it makes your structure stronger. This is the same breathing technique that I did with my 86-year-old who they were going to have to put on dialysis because her kidneys were going out. And what happened? We took her through this special program. She didn't have to be put on dialysis because her breathing strengthened her kidneys. It strengthened the pancreas. It strengthened the heart. It strengthens all the internal organs. That's what it's doing for the baby. It's strengthening those internal organs first so that the baby can do what? What does the baby start doing after the baby is finished drinking milk? What is the baby doing next? Consuming foods. So the lungs have to be strong. The organs have to be strong to consume the foods. Now, in consuming the foods, we have to talk about that in relationship to the breathing. How many of you all How many of you all? How many of you all have had problems with digestion where you say, I was eating and I started feeling pressure around my heart, like it was some gas around my heart? How many of you all get those symptoms?
I
Like you
do,
got
Dr.
pressure.
Hapi. I'm actually dealing with it right now, except it's not in my heart. It's down in my abdomen.
Okay, that's the other place. That's the other place. Now, why is that? That is because we are not balanced with what we're eating.
Okay, thank
So
you.
one of the things that you should be getting into your diet every day, particularly until your lungs get stronger and until you really learn how to eat in the sense to make your system work very efficient, is ginger. Ginger helps to decrease gas in the system. It
Mhm.
helps to do that because ginger is considered a fire food.
Okay,
And when you get gas, it means you do not have enough fire. You are not generating enough fire from your digestive action of your breathing.
okay.
Your breathing creates a mechanical pump that creates a thermogenic effect, which is creating heat. And if you don't create enough heat, you cannot combust the food that you eat. So it's going to create gases because your system is not strong enough, and you don't have enough of the balance of the elements. And the elements are air, fire, water, and earth. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get more fire coming into our digestive system. We're trying to decrease more earth. So as we get older, we should eat less earth because earth is what causes our system to become too weak. Earth is what causes our systems to overwork. So if I ask you all, and which I did when we were on the call before, what foods do you think are earthy? What foods do you think are earthy?
Pizza.
Somebody said pizza. Did you say
Pizza.
that, Sister Paul?
I sure
Sister
did.
Paula? Pizzas are too, well, what is pizza? What is it?
Bread. It's bread, flour,
It's bread, and what else? What else is it? What else is pizza?
Potatoes,
cheese,
Cheese and bread, and what else? What else?
pepperoni,
potatoes, starchy stuff.
Pepperoni, what else?
Flour.
Tomato sauce,
tomatoes. Yep.
right? But mainly flour and cheese.
It's my
Now the
favorite.
problem with that is that the flour dries up your colon.
Mm-hmm.
When your colon is dried up, you cannot move matter very well. And that helps to cause constipation. And when you start getting constipation, you're going to have pressure on the heart. You're going to have pressure on the digestive system.
So you remember back in the old days how they didn't have paste. So we used to use flour and water, and that was the paste.
Right.
So if you put flour in your colon and you drink some water, that's paste.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that causes dampness.
Which
That's
is
what
sticking
causes
to the walls of your colon.
Yes, and it causes dampness in the lungs, which makes our lungs get congestion, which helps to give us a cold also because it puts the fire out.
Okay.
It puts the fire out. And it also weakens the pancreas, which causes us to start changing that paste to it changes it to fats. And it starts helping our colon and our stomach to gain weight. How many of you all have heard of this book called Wheat Belly? Have any of you all heard of this book called Wheat Belly?
Yes,
No, I haven't.
I have.
I want you all to look up this book called Wheat Belly. This particular book is by this doctor who tells about how wheat was the first engineered. It was the first engineered food. It was the first GMO. And when they created this wheat, they created because in India, they did not have enough food. The people were starving. So they had to create a wheat that could grow so that the people in India could have more food. So the agricultural scientists created this. But what happened when they created this particular hybrid of wheat had more gluten. And gluten is the chemical, the compound in your body that causes the glue. It causes your colon to bind. It causes your digestive system to minimize being able to absorb nutrients into your into your body. And so the gluten then starts to force your body to gain weight. So we really didn't start having a problem with weight until they brought this first GMO, and that's when they start promoting wheat. They say you don't need to eat white flour, you need to eat wheat flour. And they start making wheat available for us. And this particular wheat is in our pastas, is in our bread, it's in our pastries. And it's what has now weakened our colon, it's weakened our breathing, it's weakened our bodies, and it has helped to cause the obesity problem in our society. Now, with obesity, what kind of problems can we get if we get obese, if we have obesity? What kind of problems can we have?
Blood
Type
pressure, heart
High
attack.
blood pressure, what else?
Diabetes.
Diabetes, what
Diabetes.
else? What else? What else can it
Strokes.
cause? Strokes, what else? Kidney problems, where we could be put on dialysis. What else could it cause? It could cause problems to our joints because it's too much extra weight, so our joints could need to be replaced. What else could it cause? It could cause high cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
So I want everybody to get this book called Wheat Belly.
There are several. Which one?
Now,
Who's
this
the
one,
author?
let me see.
Who's the
This
author?
one, I'm gonna tell you who this one is by. I'm gonna tell you who this one is by.
Thank you.
Because this book, there's one, it's a volume 1 and it's a volume 2. It's a volume 1. Now this one is by, the doctor is William Davis, MD.
Right.
Wheat
He's
Belly.
got most of.
He
most
has
of
a
them.
volume 1 and a volume 2. He now has a cookbook also. He has a cookbook also. So this book tells you about how they changed the wheat up in our society. And when they changed this wheat up, we start having the overweight problems and all the other problems. So there's a store here in where I live. I live in this town called Oak Park. And there's another town right next to us. This town is called River Forest. This town is where most of the affluent people, Europeans and affluent people live. And there's a store called Jewels in that area, right down the street from a Whole Food. And these people, because they found out about the gluten, they had the store remove all of the products that have that extra gluten. There was 3,500 products this store moved out and brought in 3,500 foods that have healthy wheat without all the extra gluten. Do you all know what the extra gluten does to the body also? It creates a condition called ataxia, and it creates a condition called celiac disease. Any of you all ever heard of celiac disease?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, the gluten causes that also. It causes you to lose balance. It causes you to lose balance also because the medulla oblongata in the brain is affected by this extra gluten, and it causes the person to lose the awareness of their motor skills. So this is why we need to know about what we're eating, because if we're eating the regular wheat that we think is healthy, but this wheat is now the bad wheat that's making us sick and that's giving us the health problems and weakening our lungs and causing us to have heart problems and causing us to have problems with diabetes and having weight problems and all these problems, we can alleviate a lot of this by changing what we're eating. So in our diet, we don't eat that type of wheat. We don't eat much wheat at all, because as you get older, your carbs that you need to be eating are more water soluble. Those carbs are like squash, like zucchini. How many of you all eat squash and zucchini in your diet?
Every day. Yes, I love.
This is good. How many of you all eat carrots, and how many of you all eat
Every day.
eggplant? How many of you all eat different kind of squashes? How many, there's so many different kind of squashes. How many of you all eat different kinds? Like there's a green squash. How many of you all have seen that green hard squash?
Yes, I have.
How many of you all eat that?
I do.
For all of us, those would be our healthier carbs. And if we're eating those kind of foods, we won't necessarily have to be eating as much of this flour, because the flour does hardship to the pancreas and the kidneys and is creating these diabetic effects with us. Now, we do know now that dementia is called the third type of diabetes. Have you all heard of this?
Yes.
Dementia. And do you know that people who start getting dementia, that their breathing is highly compromised?
Mm.
And so we have a breathing pattern. There's a breathing pattern that we do that helps to decrease the amyloids in the blood. When you do this particular breathing pattern and help to prevent you from getting dementia. Now, how many of you all need to know that breathing pattern? How many of you all want to prevent getting dementia?
Yes,
Because
everybody.
they say African American women are the ones who are going to get dementia the most. How many of you all think you should be helping to prevent dementia now?
We all should.
I do make sure I do everything to prevent that, especially eliminating aluminum from my diet.
Yes. How many of you all know that aluminum helps to cause plaque in the brain and give people dementia? How many of y'all knew of that?
But did you say aluminum or
Aluminum, like
Aluminum.
aluminum that you put over your food.
Aluminum
Aluminum
foil,
foil.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aluminum cookware. How many of you all go to some event and they got aluminum pans that the food is in the aluminum pan? And
Yeah.
they're going to serve you the food out of the aluminum pan, and then you're
Heat
going
it
to get
up.
aluminum in the body that can
Right.
help to cause you to get dementia.
Mm-hmm.
So what should you do? If you went to some place and they had the food, would you tell them, give me the food from the bottom, or give me the food from the top, or that's all right about that meal?
No, thank
How many of you
If
all would
I'm
say
real
that's
hungry,
all
I'll
right
say
about
from the
that
top.
meal? How
Yeah,
many of you all
meal.
would say, give me the food from the top?
I'm gonna say from the top, but now I'm listening to you. I guess I'm gonna have to go hungry.
When I go out to different places and they have food, if I see them have aluminum pans, I don't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even eat it. I bring me some water with me. I bring me an apple. Wherever I go, I take an apple. They say an apple a day keep the doctor away. I take an apple because the apple is good for your digestion.
Mm-hmm.
The apple will help you to move fiber, help you to move the earthy foods that you consume that causes your system to have the imbalance of digestion and cause your system to break down.
Dr. Hapi, there's
Yes.
also aluminum in our deodorant. You have to
Yes.
buy the aluminum-free deodorant.
Guess what? I
What?
don't use that deodorant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I use? Baking soda.
Baking soda.
I take
don't
baking
use-
soda and I rub the baking soda under my arm.
I stopped using aluminum-free deodorant 15 years ago. Every time I put it on, I got a breakout under my arm.
That was your
stopped it.
body. Your skin was telling you that this was toxic to your body. That's what your skin is, a very sensitive organ, and it alerts us first if something's toxic to our body. We should not be using any of those deodorants. We should not be using toothpaste that has fluoride in it, because the fluoride if you look on the side of the toothpaste, you will see that they say, don't swallow.
Mm-hmm.
Don't swallow. In fact, if you swallow it, that you may have to go to the hospital. There was this, she was a pharmacist, and she alerted a whole group of white people. It was about 400 white people at this seminar, and she was telling them about this particular toothpaste. And I had my difference about that, because I said, well, fluoride is good for you. And she said, yeah, but you don't understand that fluoride can have negative effects and can help trigger dementia also. She was in her 80s. She was about 85 years old, mind sharp as a tack. And so she was informing people about the healthiness of this product.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean, the unhealthiness
also-
of this product.
Also, when you're buying the baking soda or baking powder, make sure it doesn't have aluminum in it.
Right. Now, the one that I use doesn't. But I want to come back to the person who had the heart problem. Do you remember me telling you about her blood pressure was 260 over what? I mean, 230 over 130, right? Y'all remember that?
Mhm.
Do you know she had a stroke already?
Wow.
And the 230 over the 130, that was with meds. That was with meds. You know what her blood pressure is now? Guess what her blood pressure is? Take a guess.
120 over 60.
No, it's better
Over
than that.
70?
No, it's
Oh.
better than that.
What, 105?
110 over 70, 110 over 60?
105 over
Okay.
70, between 66 and 70. She's
Dr.
in
Sai,
my
what took-
program. She's in my program. She runs 4,000 breaths. She amazed the doctors. She amazed them.
Can you tell me, is Tom's a good toothpaste? I have someone on the other line. Is Tom's a good toothpaste, or what do you use?
It's a better one. That's the one we use. But you usually,
Tom's.
yeah, but we use we tend to use baking soda for that too. But Tom is a good one. So are there any questions? Because we're almost about to run out of time again already.
My
Yes,
question,
Dr.
sometimes I use Avon deodorant. Is that
Now,
bad?
Dr. Cato raised her hand. Dr. Cato raised her hand.
Sorry.
Hi,
Doc-
thank
Go
you.
ahead, Dr. Cato.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, Dr. Hapi, I was trying to write it down. Can you please go back and give me the name of the book that you would, that you would like for us to?
Wheat Belly. There's a volume 1, a volume 2, and then there's also a cookbook with it. And he breaks down how they changed the wheat up on us. In the 50s, they changed the wheat up. And when the wheat was changed up, the people started gaining the weight, because before then, we didn't even have health clubs. There was no La Fitness. There was no health club, and people didn't have a weight problem.
Okay.
But when he changed the wheat to this first GMO, before even the corn GMO came out, the people started gaining the weight because the gluten started breaking down their elimination and their digestive and their eliminative systems. So he has a volume 1 and 2. He tells about the whole history of it.
What is, I'm sorry, what is his name again?
Dr. William Davis.
Okay.
Dr. William
Trying to
Davis.
raise my hand.
William Davis. Thank you so much, doctor.
You're welcome. So we're talking about diabetes. The diabetes is a problem that's not just giving you the diabetes, it's weakening your lungs. It's breaking down your kidneys. How many people do we see in our community on dialysis? How many new dialysis centers are coming up in the community? Because the people's kidneys are breaking down, because the wheat dries the water out of the kidneys. Can you all understand what I'm trying to say here?
Absolutely.
That the flour is drying out the water of the kidneys and is causing the pancreas to not be able to produce insulin. So if you can't produce the insulin, your blood sugar is going to go up. And if your blood sugar go up too much, you're going to be in a coma. If your blood sugar goes up too much, it's going to affect the blood pressure too. because the kidneys affect the blood pressure. And when the
Mhm.
kidneys are affected, the blood pressure is affected, the heart is affected, so you could have the stroke. That's why a person who develops the obesity start having all these problems that could be alleviated to a great degree just by eliminating the flour. So we're gonna have to get ready to end now because
Dr.
time has
Hapi, I got,
ran out.
can we use Ezekiel bread? I have an aunt that eats Ezekiel bread. Is that a
Well,
good type of bread?
let me tell
It
you
has no
about that.
flour in it.
Let me
Tell
tell
me.
you about that. Let me tell you about that. The Ezekiel bread is that's bread that is sprouted. It is a better bread. It's a better bread. But here's the thing. If we are already, let's say we have a weight problem. Let's say our lungs are weak. How many of us eat cakes and pies?
I do.
I don't touch
What
it.
kind of wheat is it made out of? That's what we have to question. How many of us eat pasta? How many of us eat pasta? What kind of wheat is it? What kind of wheat is it made out of? How many of us eat all kind of pastries? So we're eating so much flour. See, the problem is we're having too much flour. So even if she eats the sprouted bread, if she's eating all this other flour from all these other products, she's still at a loss. She still show up at a loss. The goal is to minimize flour. The next best thing, if you got to eat some flour, eat the sprouted. Eat the sprouted. Now, Sister Belinda has her hand up, and Sister Barbara has her hand up. Go ahead, Sister Belinda, because you're the to my left, the first hand I see. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Hoppy. I wanted to ask, these breathing exercises, does that help with the stomach? Like, is that a good stomach exercise as well?
Did you see the demonstration that I showed with the?
Yeah, I just wanted to make
do that look like I got a stomach problem?
no.
Do that look like I have a stomach problem?
So you can do this in lieu of doing regular stomach exercise. This is a stomach
It's an
exercise as well?
exercise. Yes, it's an exercise for the internal organs. See, what we look at is exercise, and what we have to do is get deeper, because
Okay.
the exercise we're doing is still not deep enough. So if our lungs are weak, if we're eating wrong, then our diaphragm is going to get big and our organs are going to get weak, and we're going to have a bunch of problems. So the breathing is the first thing. I go back to the baby. What did you see the baby do? Breathe when they were crying. So they were strengthening their internal organs. And then as they kept doing it, the power came out to their limbs. And then you start seeing them crawl. And then as they kept doing the breathing, as they were crying, they got more power, and you start seeing them walk. Then you start seeing them run. That's the phenomenon of this breathing that I speak of, that gave me my vitality and my health back and prevented me from dying at 50 years old. I have not ran 5 steps. I have not lifted 50 pounds, not even 10 pounds. But the breathing gives me the vitality to be super healthy. Did that kind of answer the question a little bit?
Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I got it.
Now we have Sister Barbara, and then we're gonna be running out of time. Sister Barbara, you had a question.
Yes. How many times a day should we be doing the breathing exercises that
You
you
should
taught
do.
us?
You can do it first thing in the morning. It should be the first. Before you even get out of bed, there are 2 things you should do. Do the breathing and drink water.
That's what I
Why drink water? Why drink water? Because what we're saying is what? We are drying out from the flour. So if we drink the water, we start digestion right there. Drinking the water. What's the next thing? Eat some fruit. Eat some fruit. Don't they now start promoting some oatmeal with some fruit, with some yogurt? Don't they promote that now? Don't we see that at some of the restaurants for breakfast? You see some oatmeal, you see some fruit, you see some yogurt. Don't, isn't that what we're seeing?
Yes.
So what is the yogurt? Yes.
That's what they said. Oatmeal is not so good for you. It's like we thought it was. So
Well,
that's
again,
true.
let's go back. Let's go back and look at the wheat
I
now.
love it.
If you had a choice between wheat and oatmeal, which one do you think I would pick?
The
Oatmeal.
oatmeal.
And all the
Even,
all the
even
cardiologists tell you to eat oatmeal. It's good for your heart.
because of the fiber,
Mhm.
because of the fiber. So what they're promoting now, they're promoting oatmeal and they're promoting yogurt. Now, what's in the yogurt? What's in the yogurt?
Probiotics.
Probiotics.
help.
Are you all hearing something about this? The probiotics? Well, what are the
Yes.
probiotics for? The probiotics are for friendly bacteria. That's what you need in the colon. When you consume all this wheat with the gluten, it wipes out your probiotics.
Yes.
What
If
else
your
can you eat if you
program-
don't like yogurt?
Kefir or
Well, you can eat fermented vegetables. Fermented food has probiotics also, like sauerkraut. The Koreans eat something called kimchi. Kimchi is it's a cabbage. And then there's kombucha. Kombucha is a fermented drink, but for people who have problems with digestion and get gas builds up, they should not drink the kombucha because the kombucha is it's more like filter, so it can create gas in your system. So they should eat more fermented foods. How many of you all eat sauerkraut? How many remember years ago when there was more like sauerkraut being promoted? How many remember that?
I do.
How
Yeah,
many of you
remember.
all eat sauerkraut? How many of you all eat fermented foods?
I eat sauerkraut. When I make tuna fish, I sneak the fermented sauerkraut in there, and I have.
Oh, that's what you're doing, Aunt Marie.
Yes.
No, this is good. That's good. But
I eat
when
it though.
I like that. I like that. She didn't sneak it in. She just
She
did
gotta
it with
sneak it in for me.
it was a sneak to you. It wasn't a sneak to her. It was
You
like
know-
this is what I'm doing, and I'm getting ready to do it well. But
Yeah.
we have to look at different cultures. You see, when we look at the Jewish people, they eat sauerkraut with their what? With their cheese, with their Reuben, right? The Reuben sandwich.
Oh yeah, the
which is the
sandwich.
cheese with the beef on it and the rye bread, right? And so the sauerkraut is fermented, so it helps the digestive system work. It helps it work. So we need to be eating that kind of food because that kind of food is fiber and it helps our system to break down.
And use our flax seeds and stuff like that.
And flaxseed is
food.
good. The flaxseed is good. Yes.
Chia seeds.
The chia seeds are good. We can put that in a smoothie. That's what we should have in the morning. Have a smoothie.
I have a
The
smoothie. with
smoothie
kale.
digests in an hour. A
I
smoothie
have
can
it.
digest in an hour and we get a lot of concentrated nutrients. What I usually do a smoothie for breakfast, or I will do some juices. I'll do like a green drink or I'll do like a fruit drink, but I'll do some juices after I drink the water. The water is always first. Now, what kind of water do you all drink?
Alkaline.
We need to drink alkaline.
Now, do you buy this alkaline or you get it at the, you buy the from in a bottle or you have a machine that makes it?
Machine,
You got a machine, Dr. Hubble?
but I do a bottle now because my machine.
The bottle is not that good because that's plastic. And the plastic, we're hearing that the plastic has a chemical and the chemical is alvino, and this particular chemical in Canada, they banned it. They banned it because they found out it creates cancer in the breasts of women.
So,
I
Dr. Hubby, I
don't-
want to ask you something about toilet paper. Now, I heard something about the toilet paper and certain toilet paper is not good. We're supposed to be using organic toilet paper now. Do you know
We
anything about
should.
that?
Yes, I use
Can you
organic
teach us on
toilet
that?
paper. I buy organic toilet paper at Whole Foods. I
Oh,
mean,
Lord
are
help me.
you all trying to get healthy or what? What
But
kind
there's
of
something in the
body?
toilet
Wait,
paper
wait,
that
wait, wait,
causes
wait.
what,
Hold up.
cancer?
Yeah, it can cause cancer. I know a sister, because of the toilet paper, and she was using this powder from Johnson & Johnson, talcum powder, got cancer of the colon. She got cancer. She got a big tumor on her sphincter, on the sphincter of her anal sphincter. She got a big tumor. And then they called themselves trying to put the cancer in remission. And we were telling her to stay into a vegetarian diet where she wouldn't be drying out the colon. And she changed up and started eating a lot of the acidic foods, and the cancer came back. She's dead. She didn't even get a chance to sue because there's a big lawsuit going on with Johnson & Johnson with the talcum powder. Did you all hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but she didn't get a chance to get no money because she done died. She died from it. So these are things that we need to know to protect ourselves, because what we don't know can hurt us.
Right.
They're saying your family can go and sue in behalf of you for that lawsuit.
Yeah, but she only had her mother, and her mother has died.
Oh.
So anyway, are there any other questions? Because now we have to end the session.
Last,
I was going to
Ava?
talk about. There was two other things I was going to talk about, but we didn't ran out of time. I was going to talk about a breathing technique to help us deal with our anxiety, because anxieties can cause heart attacks and can cause ulcers. I was going to show you all a breathing technique to help y'all become cool as a cat. So regardless of what stresses you all we going through, it won't give you a heart attack.
Hey,
It'll
now.
give you ulcers. But we can't
Did
do it
anybody
today.
get good notes, Michelle?
Well, we do have a recording and it will be on YouTube. So the YouTube channel is up. Auset-Isis is the YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe. So it will be, as soon as it downloads, I'm uploaded. And you can go back and listen to it as many times as you want. Dr. Hapi, you said you had 2 more topics for us, so I'm gonna
Yes.
believe that you're gonna be coming back, and I'm sure
Well,
you will.
we have to get you all to at least the level of a half of a Rolls Royce,
Hey,
right?
now,
Didn't we talk about that
now
when I was on here before, that we should have Rolls Royce bodies because they don't be breaking down like airplanes? And that unless you got a Rolls Royce, you got a Chevy or Ford, and it's gonna break down because we see them broke down all over
on
the
the
place.
side of the road.
On the side of the road, and you never saw a Rolls Royce being picked up by a tow truck.
Nope, never
So
have.
we want to have that kind of body so we don't be showing up at the hospital having all kind of problems.
Exactly.
Right. So we got to learn more. So if I'm here to share with you all, I'm gonna give it to you as fast as you can be ready to receive it for the amount of time we have. It's such short time to share and to help you all restore your physicals to this fine bodies that God is waiting for you all to have.
That's right.
I don't want to be having all this fun by myself. Me and Shirley and Dr. Blessman being healthy and feeling super. You think we want to have this by ourselves and leave you all out? You see how Sister Shirley called you all her comrades. She said, my peers, my homies on this Zoom. I don't want to be feeling good by myself. She trying to count you all in. You see how she's on it. Didn't you see she had the device? Didn't you see she had the device and saying how it's already improved? She's at a 2 already. We're going to take it to a 5. You all want to be going to the 5 too?
Oh,
or
yeah.
you want to be at the 1? Do you all want to be at the 1 and having all kind of problems to be at the 5 and feeling your vitality coming back to a 30-year-old?
Hey, now,
which one?
Well, Dr. Hapi, you know we all want to be able to run a lap in a mile or 2 or 3. So
Yes.
we definitely want to have you back, and we're going to have to find a way to make some of these techniques accessible to those who are not able to travel to Chicago and toss it up. Some can and everybody can't, but we can try to figure out a way to get the vitality in us. I just think that it can happen.
It can happen. We're gonna work on it. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am teaching some students, but we're gonna have to have a retreat. That's all it is too.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to have a
that should
retreat.
work.
All of you are gonna have to come to the retreat. We're gonna have to put you on the table and show you how this work up close. And then we gotta ask you to promise that you will practice every day.
Mhm.
Okay.
That sounds like a good idea.
Did
Dr.
that
Hoppy.
sound fair? Did that
Yes.
sound
okay.
fair enough?
The one we can
That's-
plan ahead
that's a
for.
great idea.
Yes,
We gotta
that's a
plan it
great
ahead for
idea.
next year.
Yes.
A real
sir.
nice
That sounds
place.
good.
Yes.
You know, because I know Sister Shirley, she likes to be at the best of the best. She likes to have a great life. All of you all deserve to be
Yes.
like Sister Blessman and Sister Shirley and have the best of the best. So we got to have the good place, right, Dr. Cato? A nice
Yes.
swanky place where you all can be treated like queens.
Hey now.
And then we come there and we get down with bringing the power of life that God is waiting to give back to us. So we can be the baby reincarnated, not quite that young.
Hey.
But the vitality,
Yes.
the vitality of the 2 and the 3-year-old, that's what we're wanting. The vitality.
That's what we
Absolutely.
want.
And
That's
I did
exactly what
attend,
we want.
I do like the fact, excuse me, I just want to throw this in. I do
Uh-huh.
like the fact that what you say is going to happen at the retreat is exactly and even more what having attended your retreat a couple of months back, that's what happens. They
You
are,
saw it, Dr. Cato. Didn't you see
Cato
some of
was
my
there too.
patients
All
show
right.
up and how well they were? And then you saw how the people got into it and everybody got healthier. And then Sister Shirley, she was at that retreat, right, Sister Shirley?
well, she and Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
You and Shirley and
We were
Dr.
all three
Blessman.
together. I was in awe because I've never seen that many people older than me jumping up on tables and leaping up on stages, and I'm barely walking.
Well, you're getting better, and you're gonna get better and better as we connect with this breath that God has for us, and for us we can get more and more vital. Now we got one last question, and then we have to close it out because we're supposed to stop at 8:30. And we got Sister June. Sister June, you had a question? Did you have one?
Yes, sir. How many reps should we do in the morning of those breaths?
That was a great question. Those reps that we're working on right now, you should do about 20 of those reps.
Oh, 20.
The 20 is not 20. See, when I say 20, I want you all to think that 20 is not a lot, but we do another, when you're on our table, we do another program and you only do half of that. But those breaths that you only do 10, those breaths are 10 times stronger than what the 20 you're doing. I would say maybe 10 or 15 times stronger. What you think, Sister Shirley, when we do those first 10 breaths? Are they kind of strong, a little strong, sort of strong, real strong?
They're strong because they make me perspire right away.
In 10 breaths, you can break a sweat from them. That's how strong they are, because they make your organs work. They force your organs to push the old blood out and bring new blood in with oxygen. That's what helps the organs to work. That's what helps the baby to have a digestive system so strong that it could take milk and make number 1 and number 2 from a liquid. That's how powerful those breaths are. They make the system work super, super well. So these other techniques that I want to share with you all, our goal is to make you all healthier, body, mind, and spirit. And to do that, you must know the secrets of the ancients. You cannot get these secrets going to a health club. You can't get these secrets going to yoga class, because in yoga classes, they're not teaching these secrets. They teach a lot of postures. They have you do a lot of postures. And unless you were studying with me now, if you study with me, 10 to 15 minutes of my class, you're doing breathing before you do the first movement. 10 to 15 minutes. So with that, we're gonna have to end this session because time has ran out. But we enjoyed. Did you enjoy the sessions today? Did you all learn anything?
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
thank you.
Always learn
Most
something
definitely.
with you.
So now
Always.
what are we gonna do? I want somebody to tell me what we're gonna do until the next month. What are we gonna do to make ourselves better? We went over some things. Somebody summarize it for me.
We're gonna do
Who can
some breathing
summarize?
exercises, gonna blow some balloons, we're gonna eat right,
We're gonna blow
drink a
some
lot of
balloons.
water.
We're gonna eat right. What else we're gonna do?
We're gonna get that breathing apparatus, the
We're gonna get the
spirometer.
breathing apparatus. What else we're gonna do?
I
Purchase,
have mine.
purchase
Cut
the
the,
book.
Oh, I like this. I like this, Sister Renee. What else we're gonna do? Sister Renee has her respirator, right there. What else are we gonna do?
I need to get
We're
that
gonna eliminate
belly
the
book, red belly.
flour. Eliminate
Yes.
the flour with the wheat, with the wrong wheat.
That's a shame. I made spaghetti for dinner. Lord have mercy.
Well, did
Just take
you
the-
I didn't
make
eat
it
it
just
yet,
for
though.
yourself? Did you make it just for yourself?
Just for me. Ain't nobody here
Okay,
but me.
this is what you do. Let me tell you how you do it. I don't want you to waste
Okay.
food.
Right.
I just want you to eat a fifth of it.
There you go.
Okay.
Then I want you to do the breathing for the next 3 days and eat another fifth. You'll have to freeze that because otherwise you shouldn't eat cooked food over 3 days. Did you all know this?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
should not eat cooked food over 3 days because it developed mold.
Mm.
And the mold get in your body and create infection.
Oh.
And bacteria.
So
Mhm.
put the spaghetti in the freezer, and over the next
Okay.
15 days, eat the spaghetti. But
So I gotta
after
put it in little different Ziploc
then,
bags. Okay.
yes, after then, I want you to get some zucchini. I want you to get this machine that you can get one like crate and barrels.
Great.
And this machine will take the zucchini and make it like the threads of spaghetti.
Yes.
You
Crate
can
and
go to
barrel.
some stores and you could buy it already shredded. Zucchini, squash, you take that and that becomes your new spaghetti.
And so do spaghetti squash.
Yeah, the spaghetti squash is really
Is
good.
that what you said,
Yes.
Aunt Marie?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
gave you, Renee, spaghetti squash.
Yes,
But what's that
spaghetti
thing I gotta buy
squash.
though? To do
But
it?
spaghetti squash is a different one.
My aunt
I'm
bakes
speaking
hers.
about even taking zucchini or yellow squash
And
and
make
then
it.
shredding it, and then you take some tomato sauce, onion, garlic, and you saute it, and you put that in, and you just cook it for a few minutes because it's water soluble, so it will cook away right away. It will break down into water. So you just cook it for a few minutes. That becomes your new spaghetti.
So what's the name of that thing I have to buy to actually
I'll show it
It's
to
called
you.
the shredder.
Renee.
It's called the spaghetti
thank you.
shredder, and you push
Okay.
the zucchini onto it, and then you turn it, and it makes like spaghetti like that.
It slices it up like a spaghetti.
It slices up like a spaghetti, That becomes your new spaghetti. See, what we're saying is that the eating we're doing now is causing us to have the health problems we're getting. The problems with the heart, the problems with the pancreas, the problems with the kidneys, the problems with the liver. All these problems we can alleviate and have a long, healthy life, like my 88-year-olds, like my 95-year-olds. I was gonna tell you about this, but I didn't tell you. And this was one of my patients who is now 90. He had a big stomach, about 50 pounds. His stomach was big as almost 50 pounds. Now, you saw the stuff that you saw me do on the video. He can roll his stomach like that.
Whoa.
Yes, he's 90. He's 90. And he can breathe. He can breathe better than LeBron James. When we have the retreat, if we have it in Chicago, I'm gonna have him show up. He can show out. His body is better than a 20-year-old. But anyway, we have to end the session.
What
So
part of Chicago are you? I have a cousin that had a stroke and he's in Chicago.
I'm in Chicago.
What part?
I'm in the west side. I'm in Oak Park, the west side of Chicago. But for
You know where it's at,
people
Dr. Phil?
Yeah, but people who have strokes who are bedridden, I will go to them because I had to go to the person who I was going to show you who can walk now. He was bedridden for 2 years and now he can walk and see his doctor. Do you know how amazed his doctor was when he walked in to his doctor's office?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you
because
know
he
his
been given-
doctor was speechless?
Because all the drugs didn't work.
The drugs didn't work. The physical therapy didn't work because they were not dealing with how do we restore the nervous system. It's the nervous system that gets you to walk again. And so you have to develop this breath that the baby developed that allowed the baby to walk in the first place. That is the phenomenal. And that is the secrets that I have acquired because I could not breathe. I was supposed to die. So God gave me the power back of my breath and then gave me the knowledge of the breath through my studies of becoming a doctor. And now we can bring the people back to walking again. So anyway, it's very exciting. The work that we do is very exciting. And I hope you all learned some information today so that when we talk next time, I can hear some stories about how much better you're feeling, how much better your body is getting, how much better you're changing your diet, how much better you're heading toward. What are we heading toward? A Rolls Royce body. A Rolls, unless you all don't want a Rolls Royce now. I'm not gonna settle for no Chevy and no Ford. Not me. I'm going straight for Rolls Royce.
Me too. I'm with you.
Everything's supposed to get better. Your elimination's supposed to get better. Everything's supposed to get better. You're supposed to be feeling better. My 80 and 90-year-olds, they feel super. They feel so much better. They're not on their canes. They walk like 20-year-olds. They have the strength in their limbs like 20-year-olds. So anyway, I thank you all for being on this call today.
Thank you.
And we have to give all praises to God because God is the one giving us the breath.
Dr. Sai, my friend on the phone said, what do you do with people with swollen legs? I don't know if he has time, Dr. Hopewell.
I'm going to tell you this because we got to get off of
Listen,
here.
Dr. Hopewell.
Take my number.
Okay.
Take
I'll
my
give you his
number. Let me
number.
see if I can put it in the chat.
Yeah,
Take
he's
my
gonna put it out here.
number. Give them my number. Let's see if I can put this in. Okay. Put my number. Let me see if I can put it in here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, put my number in the chat. Now let me know if you have my number, because then I can communicate with her after. Let's see if this works. Do they see my number in the chat? Can they see my number in the chat?
Not yet. I don't see it on my side.
It should be the last thing showed up just now.
Not there.
Dr. Asar Hapi, 1-708-445-0093. Can we see that?
Oh, it's not there.
What's the number? What's
It's
the number?
1-708-445-0093. Have her give me a call because the swollen legs
Can you
mean two
repeat that? I'm
things.
sorry.
It's
Can you
in the
repeat
chat.
that?
Okay,
It's in the chat.
one.
Oh, I got it. Thank you. I see Dr. Bliss. I mean, Dr. Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you, Dr. Michelle. Now, the swollen legs, they tell us of a couple of things. They tell us the heart is breaking down. When we hear of congestive heart failure, the legs start swelling up. It also tells us the kidneys are breaking down. The heart and the kidneys are breaking down. I've had people with swollen legs who don't have swollen legs now because the heart is now stronger. The kidneys are stronger. But the legs are an indication of what's happening inside with the kidneys and the heart. Okay. All right. So with that, we will be ending, but Sister Michelle, can you call me after
Tonight, Dr. Happy,
or tomorrow?
tomorrow would be better for me, please.
What time you want to call?
Are you a morning person or?
I am.
Okay.
I have some patients come in the morning, but tomorrow I go and see my paralyzed people and my shed-ins. So tomorrow
What's a good
I have
time?
patients at 8:30 and then I leave. So I would say if you can call me at about 6 o'clock, would that be okay?
That's fine.
Okay, 6 in the evening.
6
In the evening.
Yes, sir.
Can you call me?
I'm
Okay.
making an appointment right now.
All right.
Okay.
Yes,
All
6
right.
p.m. Central. 6 p.m. Central.
Yep, I'm Central Time too.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
down here in Alabama.
Okay. Real good. All right. Well, I enjoyed sharing with you all. I want you to be super healthy.
Yep.
God is waiting to turn you all into Rolls Royces.
Okay.
And me and Sister Shirley Walker and Dr. Blessman don't want to be here by ourselves.
Thank you.
We only want to hear good
Appreciate
stories.
you.
Good stories,
All
not
right.
horror stories.
Outstanding. Outstanding
Thank you.
job, doctor.
Thank you,
Have a
Dr.
blessed
Cato.
week.
You all have a
Appreciate
blessed
you,
week.
Doctor.
Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Happy.
All right,
Thank
you're
you.
so
Love you, Dr.
welcome.
Hoppy.
You're so welcome. I want you all to be super well. Super, remember this word, not well, super well. Because if you get sick from super well, you only broke down to well. If you get sick from
I
well,
like
you broke
that.
down to sick. And we don't want to be down there. We want to be in well at the worst level.